What's going on, champs and jambits? It's FireMonkey here, and in today's YouTube video, we're going to be talking about two main topics that are going on with Fortnite right now, one of which is going to be a new collaboration that's going to be the next Festival Pass. But before we actually end up talking about that collaboration, we're going to be talking about the WWE X Fortnite collab, because this one had actually gotten leaked a while ago, and people were wondering when it was going to be coming to the game. If you don't remember about that leak, we had actually seen that when they were using one of the Avenger shop tabs for the new Captain America and Iron Man skins, they had gone ahead and actually ended up using a shop background that mentioned Stone Cold Steve Austin and Liv Morgan coming to Fortnite from WWE. However, neither of those characters had actually been announced until right now. There's a video on screen you're seeing of Stone Cold Steve Austin coming to Fortnite and a little bit of like a teaser we got for him. Now, we haven't been able to actually see what Liv Morgan looks like, but we do get a decent amount of information from this video. Firstly, if we look here, we can see the back bling that's actually part of this bundle. You can see it has like a little skull and everything to it. We got the pickaxe showing up there on the left side, and then towards the end of this, you actually end up seeing him doing the emote where he crushes two drinks together, I guess slurp drinks in Fortnite's case to keep it safe or whatever, and just kind of downs them right in one sitting. Now, you can't move around or do traversal stuff with that emote, of course, for obvious reasons, but that has been officially announced, and I think it's pretty cool to actually see. But this also means that Liv Morgan is most likely going to be one of the upcoming teasers as well, in order to hype up her side of the whole collaboration. And because of the fact that I'm unable to show you what her skin in game looks like, here's what Liv Morgan actually looks like IRL, so you at least get a little bit of an idea of what her Fortnite counterpart might actually end up looking like once the skin is officially revealed. Of course, you can compare it to the recent WWE skins we've gotten before, you know, just going ahead to like see a similar style or whatever, or just the quality that we actually had in Stone Cold. But that isn't the only thing to talk about in today's YouTube video, because on top of that, we have the next Fortnite Festival Pass artist, which is Laffy. Now, I know that there's people who say that her, the way, okay, this is going to be weird trying to say it this way, but basically there's been a lot of mixed opinions on her being the next Festival Pass artist because of the simple fact that a lot of people see what Fortnite Festival Passes have been recently and notice a trend of usually like female pop artists, and I guess in Laffy's case, you know, it's more of like jazz pop. It's kind of like that weird middle area where it's not specifically pop, but it's not specifically jazz, I guess you would say. People debate what her actual genre is, but it appears that she's the next Festival Pass artist, and there's a decent amount of people who seem unhappy about that. I know that, you know, it makes sense that Epic Games is kind of going from like the more mainstream artist out there and everything else, who get a lot more followers or music listens or whatever. I guess it's just kind of the more, hey, regardless of who you are, this music would probably be for you type of artist to put in Fortnite, and it has created some people who don't like seeing that happen over and over and over again. You know, for example, I thought the Gorilla season was pretty cool. You know, that was the like last season I really paid attention to for Festival, and the most recent ones I haven't really like paid attention. I couldn't tell you when Sabrina Carpenter had her festival, if it was the last one or the previous one or whatever else, but that's just because, you know, it's one of those things where I don't really keep too much up with it. But I have seen some people kind of be disappointed by this, you know, saying, oh, why don't we get more metal songs in the game? You know, why don't we get like Slipknot or something like that over in Fortnite as their own festival season? 21 Pilots, whatever else that people would actually want to see get their own entire pass. And in the most recent cases, and I actually guess I can pull up the previous passes, we had Season 1 with The Weeknd, which was R&B/pop. Then we had Lady Gaga with Season 2, which was pop. And then Billie Eilish for Season 3, which was pop/alternative. Then for Season 4, we had heavy metal/rock with Metallica. Then for Season 5, we had Karol G, which was more of like reggae/Latin pop. Season 6, we ended up having Snoop Dogg, which was hip-hop and rap. Season 7, we had Hatsune Miku, which was Vocaloid/virtual pop. Season 8 was Sabrina Carpenter with pop, and then Season 9 was Gorillaz with pop/funk. Season 10 was, Season 9 was Bruno Mars with pop/funk, and then Season 10 was Gorillaz with alternative/virtual band. I knew something was weird when I said Gorillaz in there, but, you know, basically, if we really take it down, you know, we had Season 1 being a male artist, or I guess a male pop artist, Season 2, female pop artist, Season 3, female pop artist, Season 4, a metal group, Season 5, a female Latin pop artist, Season 6, male hip hop, Season 7, female Vocaloid/virtual pop, I guess you would say, Season 8, Sabrina Carpenter, which was a female with pop, Season 9, male pop, and then Season 10, we had alternative/virtual band Gorillaz, which would be like I guess Gorillaz would be more of like it wouldn't be like a male group, it'd be a mixed group, I would say. And then, of course, for season 12, we had another female artist, being Lisa, or Lisa, however you actually end up saying her name, from Blackpink, and she is a K-pop artist. And then season 13, which I think is the season we're currently on, we had Chappelle Rowan, which is indie pop / synth pop. And then if, you know, Laufey actually ends up being the actual character for the next season, it isn't just some like Coachella thing, but ends up being like a fully blown season, which it appears to be, then that means back to back to back, most of the festival pass artists we end up getting in Fortnite are all pop. It's mostly pop. You know, sometimes, you know, there's a little bit of a wrench in those plans. You know, sometimes we get like Vocaloid, you know, we get a whole entire band, we get a metal group or whatever, but it seems like the main focal point of the type of collaborations we end up getting in festival are pop artists, because they're basically one of the more popular audiences that Epic Games can go ahead and monetize off of. So I wanted to hear in the comments down below, what do you think about this whole entire Laufey x Fortnite festival pass coming up soon? Are you someone who wishes we had more genres in the game, or, you know, like I mentioned Slipknot, or, you know, like 21 Pilots or whatever else earlier? Are there any trends you've noticed when it comes to the festival pass that made you just kind of like not care for it too much or something? I don't know. It's something where, like, in the recent festival pass and stuff, you know, it's just like just more things to unlock, right? You know, I'm just glad I don't have to spend 50,000 V-Bucks in the item shop just to get the one version of the skins half the time, with how expensive a lot of the collaborations in Fortnite actually end up getting. With that said, however, hope this video was informative, hope it got you excited for upcoming Fortnite content, such as the WWE collaboration and the new festival pass, or I guess a music pass, whatever they actually end up calling it anymore, I'm not really for sure. And I'll catch you champs and champets a little bit later with another upload, so like the video if you liked it, dislike it if you didn't like it, and until then, peace out.